King Ghidorah.
Right, take me to your leader. Quick to claim that he not no snake. Like shit, me neither, bruh.
That's an MF Doom line, right?
Yeah, yeah, he died. Rest in peace
What
on
year did he die
Halloween,
again?
Doomsday.
It was 2021, right?
2020, I think, maybe
Maybe,
21.
yeah.
It
That
was
you know what that
yeah.
means? That means he could have seen Shin Godzilla.
Right, that sucks for him.
That's probably.
That
I mean, that's
probably
probably
what
what killed him.
killed
Yeah.
him.
Admittedly, it is probably not what killed MF Doom.
No, I think it was heart disease, but that could have been onset by watching Shin Godzilla.
We're gonna talk for just a few minutes about Shin Godzilla because we were supposed to watch it.
That was the plan. Well, no, we were supposed to watch Shin Godzilla, not the Stephen King movie It.
Right, right.
No, we were meant to watch Shin Godzilla, not the 1990s miniseries starring Tim Curry, It.
Right, Tim,
Right.
Shin, they rhyme.
Tim and Shin, they sound very similar.
Kind of.
They both have an
I was gonna
eye
say I
in
would have
there.
gone with very similar, but
I also wouldn't have gone with rhyme, but
they mute together.
us fucking ass.
Shin Godzilla.
And
I've seen lots of
it's
these Godzilla
bad.
movies.
It's
Lots of them.
bad. I've seen
It's
a
the
couple,
worst one I've ever
and
seen.
Shin Godzilla sucks.
It's not the
We
worst one
got
I've ever
maybe
seen, but it's bad.
40 minutes in before
Wait,
we
yeah,
were
about
like,
40 minutes before we
fuck
pulled the
this.
plug.
Yeah, so we normally we give ourselves what 15 minutes.
Right.
Give
And
or take.
We've
then-
done that like once.
Yeah,
but
and if the
What
movie's
movie
bad
was it? It was
enough-
like Shark and Saw Women's
Normally,
Massacre.
it's one of those that we're
We
really
were never
unsure
gonna
about.
watch
That
that.
I'm like, I want us to watch this, and you guys are like, all right, you got 15 minutes to hook me. And sometimes it happened that time, I think,
And the-
right?
Maybe, I don't know.
One time we've done the 15-minute thing, it's worked. One time we didn't watch it, so like it's been both.
Right, and we
Oh, it
regretted
was
at the
it
time
was
we
during
didn't.
the Shark versus Ice Monster.
Right,
Yes,
we gave up on that
yes,
one.
yes.
And then we
Yeah,
watched
then
the
skimmed
cool
through
movie.
it.
I can't
We
remember what the
watched
cool
some
movie we
other-
replaced
some
it
other
with.
We watched
Shark-
Sharkman,
Sharkman.
Yes,
Yes,
it was
which is one of the
Sharkman.
best movies we've seen.
Jeffrey
on this
Combs,
Forsaken
yeah.
podcast,
Jeffrey
yeah.
Combs, my goat.
Yeah,
Um,
combed his hair.
So
Yeah,
this, so
mustache.
we didn't give ourselves that with Shin Godzilla because we figured enough
No,
people
we
liked
just-
it would be good enough. to
Right.
be
No, our
fine.
plan was just to watch this. In fact, we were going to watch the movie that we did end up watching if Josh wasn't here, but because Josh is a disgusting, horrible body gore porn horror fan, we were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna watch this movie with him because this is Godzilla horror gore porn. And that's
disgusting body horror Godzilla.
yeah, and that's the only thing I knew about this movie, so I was dreading it. I don't like body horror. I
And
I
that
didn't
was
like
the
any
best
of the
part
clips.
of the movie.
Yeah, and that was the only somewhat interesting part in the 2 minutes out of the 40 minutes that we watched.
It's bad, bruh.
Movie sucks ass.
It really is. It's horrible. It takes itself too seriously. It's all just a boardroom. And when I say
It's-
that, I don't mean like
yeah.
it's a boardroom, like where people are meeting in a board meeting. No, it's like I'm a boardroom. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Oh,
yeah.
God,
I mean,
we're still talking
there's,
about Shin Godzilla.
it's one of those things where Shin Godzilla is more of a satire on like governmental people than anything else. Yeah.
I took it's a satire on government people.
Was
innit?
it supposed to be that
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fuck this movie.
It's meant to be
Pretend
just like
garbage.
it's meant to be one of those movies that just basically calls everyone who works in the government incompetent
It's
and they
meant to
can't do their
Right,
job.
which
And
is
it
true. But like they could have done. It's like fucking. What's that? The movie the Gyllenhaal movie we always shit on. Velvet Buzzsaw. It's like that where it's like supposed to be a commentary on something shitty and
But
stupid,
then falls
it
into what it's
itself
becoming.
is just what it's making fun of. Yeah.
And the stuff in Shin Godzilla that is good. The stuff that people praise it about is I somewhat enjoy.
It's fine.
It's Godzilla going through this evolutionary process, and it's mindless
interesting.
And it's fun.
it's interesting. I just don't personally like it that much. It's just
I feel like if
it's
I was...
gross and ugly, and he looks stupid. The CGI is bad, but not bad enough to be funny. It's just bad, and CGI never really impresses me. It's just all computer made this. Go fuck yourself.
I feel like if I was doing a Godzilla binge, like I was watching through every single Godzilla movie, by the time I got...
Like, you get sectioned into a mental health facility because
right.
By the time
who
I
does
got
that?
to Shin Godzilla, I would appreciate it being different. Right? I would appreciate it trying to do something different with Godzilla, but then at the same time, the scenes with Godzilla are so few and far between that it makes it obnoxious.
Right. Admittedly, I will say this movie almost tricked me into liking the disgusting, gross Godzilla in this movie, because it just, there was so little Godzilla that at any point there was Godzilla, I was like, oh, this
thank
is
God,
Godzilla.
Godzilla's
Cool.
here.
Even though he's gross and ugly and the design is hideous, it's like, okay, at least it's not just people fucking talking, you know?
And we did watch some clips from the end of the movie and stuff, and by the end of the movie, he looks cool.
Final version is cool. Everything before that is gross and disgusting, and I get, oh, that's the point. He's just a mindless lizard. He's evolving. Fuck off.
So instead, we watched the greatest Godzilla movie of all time.
We watched the last one before this movie, the
Yeah,
last Toho movie before Shin Godzilla,
other than
which was
2014.
12 years before this. I said Toho, you fucking
my bad.
bitch.
I didn't hear you say Toho. I didn't hear you say
Open your ears, dumb shit.
Yo, he's mewing. He's mew-maxing. He's mewxing.
Yeah, so instead of watching Shin Godzilla, we watched Godzilla Final Wars, aka...
And it's awesome. It is the best Godzilla movie ever.
The most action-packed movie you'll ever see.
It's literally Godzilla Endgame.
It's Godzilla Endgame while also being a live-action anime about mutants versus aliens.
Mutants versus aliens versus kaiju.
Versus kaijus, and Godzilla is there kicking all their asses.
That's something Josh said.
So
Josh
cool.
said, like, so out of all the species that are in this movie, you've got mutants, you've got aliens, you've got humans, and you've got kaiju, which is 4. That's 4 species in this one movie. 4 of them. It's awesome.
And there were also those, like, alien robots that, like, turned into human people.
And the best thing
maybe
is,
5.
You could watch,
and also Don Fire, who's kind of his own. Don Fire.
Who might as well be his own species. Yeah.
Right. He's got a cool mustache and a katana. He's fucking awesome.
Right.
I think the thing I like about this is that that you could watch this blind, and it basically
you couldn't. You can't watch anything blind, Josh.
You could go into this blind. And
better
like it introduces the aliens, the mutants, the kaijus, and like everything, and it just kind of goes, yeah, they all exist, and then jumps into the movie.
It very quickly speed runs the introduction.
There's
this movie. I've seen few Godzilla movies. I've seen the first one, the ones that we watched for the podcast, and the half of the second one. And the legendary ones.
Right.
Which,
and, various
so
clips.
From that perspective, does watching Final Wars make you want to watch more of the Toho Godzilla movies? Specifically the Millennium era, like the 90s type era?
I mean,
can you watch them when it's peaked?
Right, that's the thing. It's kind of, like, it does, like, I mean, I was already on... After watching the few we watched, I was already on a bit of a kick to watch the Toho era ones. But this kind of had the opposite effect, where it's like, okay, this is peaked.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Nothing will compare to this. Why bother?
In my
anymore?
mind, all of the eras have a different kind of aesthetic to them. And I think what we did was...
Well, they're all different eras, yeah.
Well,
yes. That is the definition of an era, basically.
Okay, yeah. So
actually, no, it's a period of time, idiot.
The Showa era has its own kind of aesthetic, too, even though it takes place over, like, 3 decades. But it's got this sort of, like, there's an appeal to those.
Well, there's kind.
But there's appeal to all of the different eras. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, this one doesn't necessarily ruin Toho Godzilla for me because in the different eras I can watch different kinds of movies, which I think is fun.
But I put this to you. Do any of those kinds of movies have Don Fry with a samurai sword that he never uses but is always looking cool with?
No. This is the only one that I think Don Fry is even in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But man, I love this movie. This movie's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad we watched this instead of Final or instead of Shin Godzilla.
Right, so I'm glad we watched this instead of Final Wars, man. That
So
was
glad we
stuff,
watched this
yeah.
Personally, I think
Right.
Final
I do
Wars is a
wanna
little
watch
bit better than
-1.
Final Wars.
Yeah, and a hot take.
Hot take. Controversial opinion.
Yeah.
Godzilla Final Wars is certainly
Josh, you don't get out
one
of
of the
this.
movies.
We know you like Shin Godzilla.
Oh yeah, I like Shin Godzilla.
Right.
I'm not going
I
to try and
don't think he's ever-
hide
I don't
that.
think he's ever denied that. Josh is a disgusting human being.
I enjoy horror movies, and Shin
Yeah,
Godzilla
but
is...
also it's a horror movie
This
for
movie
3
is
minutes.
right. It's barely a horror movie. It's that the thing is I don't consider body horror to be a horror movie. Horror means scary, not gross. That's a different genre. This is a gross movie. Hellraiser is a gross movie. Whatever that other one shitty body horror movie you referenced while watching is a gross movie, presumably.
Passion of the
That's
Christ.
not.
Gross
Passion of the
movie.
Christ is a gross movie. It's not a scary, spooky ooh,
No, I
horror
think
movie,
that-
you know?
I understand that. I just also think that those two can overlap more than you're making
they
them
I
seem.
don't.
Here.
They can. Sure, they can, and they probably do in Hellraiser. I haven't
Well,
seen
like-
it. I just like insulting it because you like it.
Right. No, like,
I
I
like
think...
insulting it because it was in that one movie we watched. What was the one we watched?
Oh, Stan Helsing.
Stan
Yeah, he
Helsing.
Hellraiser like fucks someone in the ass or something,
Right.
which probably
John,
happens
have
in
you
actual
seen Stan
Hellraiser.
Helsing?
No,
Years
actually, he
ago.
probably has. Yeah.
Years ago.
I was gonna say no one has seen Stan Helsing, but of course Josh has.
Right.
Years
There's a
back I
commentary
saw
for that
it.
up on the YouTube channel.
True.
If you've
Check
watched
the
it this
live
far-
section. Check the live section of our YouTube. That's
If
where
you've
it will
watched
be.
this far, I
Also,
want you to
also Joe's
to,
apartment.
Joe's
and,
apartment. Yes. If you
Rick
watched this
Metz
far
deep
into
dive.
the video, I want you to hit the share button and send it to your mother, unless your mother's dead, in which case I
Right.
would like you to send it to one of your aunts and or a sibling.
I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't recommend that. I'd say send it to,
Yeah.
to a friend with similar tastes as you, unless your mother has very similar
Because
Unless
tastes.
as
your
soon as
mother,
would be like, I found this
aunt
thing.
or
She'll
siblings have
post it-
similar tastes to you.
Right,
she'll-
that too.
The mom, she's a boomer mom, right? She'll post it on her Facebook. She'll be like,
She
"My
will
son
not
just
post
sent
it
me
on
this
Facebook.
podcast." You're like, "Yeah, well,
She will think her
Oh,
son
oh,
has
oh.
sent her a virus.
Yeah, no, she'll send her son to an insane asylum.
No,
That's what
no,
will
no,
happen.
in the text to your mom saying, "Hey, please post this on Facebook."
Yeah, okay, what you should do is send this to your mother or aunt or sister or whatever boomer relative you have.
Right.
And say,
don't tell them
"Don't
to watch it.
listen
In
to
fact,
this."
specify, do not watch this. Do not click on this video. Just share it to your Facebook. And tell all
Right.
your boomer friends to watch it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're gonna get an audience of
Yeah.
exclusively
Locked in.
boomers. Yeah. So the plot of Godzilla.
The plot
Right?
is
Godzilla
literally
Final Wars
every
is
single
exactly
Godzilla
what it
plot.
sounds like. It's yeah.
It is
it's-
every single Godzilla plot
Well,
burned into
Wait,
one
let's
movie.
we'll timeline it. We'll start at the beginning. It opens with Godzilla being frozen in
Yes.
ice, and also some other Don
Surely he will stay there.
right. Don fires/fries. Don fired his fries.
Really?
They were too greasy. Yeah, they're too greasy. He likes them more crispy than greasy, which I get. I
I
get
mean, that makes sense. That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. But so he's the captain of some submarine, and they're fighting Godzilla and also some other like snake.
No, I think he
eel
was just
dragon
like
monster.
a worker on that one, and then they froze Godzilla for a while, and then in
Right.
the years in the future, he becomes a captain of one of the
Yeah,
submarines.
he wasn't the captain on that one. And in fact, when they cut to the
Okay.
flashback, the guy who they make it out
I
to
thought
be
it was-
him is Asian.
Yeah, I thought it was a Japanese man, but I guess it's meant
See, I
to be a
don't
young
remember
Don
the-
Fry.
Right.
But yeah, so basically Godzilla gets frozen at the start of the movie. That's the
Godzilla
big...
gets fried.
Godzilla gets Don fried.
He's
Godzilla
fried.
gets
Yes,
dawned.
sir. He's
And
smoking that shit.
then you jump into the usual Godzilla stuff. There's mutants. They've existed amongst people
Is
for
that
years.
usual Godzilla stuff?
It's in like a few of the movies, and one of the
Really?
I think the Godzilla show that existed as a spin-off of the 1998
Yeah,
one.
Godzilla the
had,
animated
like-
series does have mutants, yes.
It has mutants
Wow.
connected with Godzilla and other
That's
kaijus.
yeah. That is the thing they say in this. The mutants have the same.
It's like same
M-based
DNA or something?
gene.
Yeah, it's the M gene, I think they call
The
it.
M
The
gene.
M-based gene.
Right.
Uh,
The
and,
base
because
gene.
it's based.
You get like a very
The
quick
Mew-based.
you get a very quick like title scroll, and they basically just go mutants
It's-
exist and they work to
Yeah, it's
fight
a- it's a
against
s-
monsters.
It's a speed run of
It is.
of exposition drop of all the past Godzilla movies.
It just flashes up like a date, and then there'll be a picture of
Right.
Godzilla, and then there'll
Yeah,
just be like a
and-
mutant, and that'll
right,
be it.
And
a
it's
mutant and
interestingly enough-
other various monsters maybe.
The only one we've watched so far in the podcast in which the opening credits are in English.
Yeah,
And also
Right,
all of the
right.
like location cards and timestamps and stuff also in English. This is the only one that's had that.
Yeah, well,
It's a
they're
very-
both. It's Japanese as the main one, then like a sub one in
Right,
Yeah.
but still,
in
it's
English.
still
but
the
it's
only
yeah,
one
it's
that's
Well,
still
like,
it's still
the
significant higher.
movie is
American
majority.
production.
The majority of the movie's in Japanese, and then Don Fry is just him who speaks
Yeah.
American.
I would assume.
Well,
when
they all
did
they're all
that in-
he speaks American, does he?
speaks what?
They're all speaking English because we watched dub.
Well,
but,
yes.
I would
Yes.
assume in the Japanese version they dubbed him Japanese like they did in Astro
Right.
Monster.
Right.
Right.
the American
Vladimir
astronaut.
Putin, Godfather. Yeah.
And also the guy from Russia with Love who looks like Daniel Craig.
You come to me on the day that I'm gonna kill James Bond and also go to space to fight Gojira, and you ask me for a favor, and you
But-
don't even call me the Godzilla father.
In
Godzilla is a father in this movie.
I'm pretty
His
sure
son is named
He
Manila,
is a father. in
and
this
he's a
movie.
tiny little baby. He's smaller than the average Japanese man. And he rides around in a small, tiny little Honda flatbed truck.
But also, I'm pretty sure the Millennium Era Godzilla movies were all made and directly then released in America. I think.
Probably.
I think.
Well,
And
this
they
is
were
the
like
first,
the
like-
era
all of
where
them-
they did that.
Well,
This
'cause
was the
all of-
first big
all of
movie
them-
after 1998, wasn't it?
Right. No, not the first one. The Millennium
No,
Era
there's
was the
Godzilla.
first.
Right.
Millennium.
all
The
exist
Millennium
after
Era
98.
started in '99, and Godzilla,
I think there's only
Zilla,
four
Matthew
of them.
Broderick,
I'm pretty sure there's 4 of them.
probably because this one's 2004, so the
Right.
most.
This one's
of it would be
2004, and 98
5
was
if
the
they're
first
pumping them
one.
out. 98 was Godzilla
Zilla.
American. 99
Right,
was the first Millennium Era. Yeah,
And I think it's called Godzilla Millennium or something.
I think yeah.
But like,
No, it's called Godzilla 2000.
right?
Probably.
Maybe it's probably both. Like, it's
Yeah, it could
Godzilla's
be.
one of
Like-
those franchises where every movie has 6
Yeah,
different names.
like every other Godzilla movie, it probably had multiple names. Probably not 6. I think Josh is exaggerating.
Probably
I
think
am
they all,
exaggerating.
I think they all have 2. Yeah, one for the Japanese release and one
That
for
would
the
make sense.
American.
Like
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla, not just called Shin Godzilla, also called
what else is it
Godzilla
called?
Resurgence.
Ah, that's
That makes sense.
stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What is he resurging from? He just
Godzilla
From
White Claw
Godzilla-
Surge.
Godzilla
Ooh.
Final Wars is where he's resurgent from.
exists. Right.
Kind
Godzilla
of, yeah.
versus Mecha Godzilla Monsters All Out Attack.
But yeah, so the
Right.
movie
Slash
movie introduces
all
Destoroyah,
monsters attack.
something like that.
Final
those
Wars
are the-
introduces
Destoroyah.
mutants that fight
Right.
alongside the EDF.
Ibira.
What?
That's the crab monster Ibira.
Right, yes, yeah.
Right.
Something
But yeah,
like
so
that.
so Don Fry,
Okay.
the most American man in the world, works for the EDF alongside a load of mutants, which all
Right,
exist
right.
to defend
He
Earth.
is,
Hence the
and
Earth Defense Force.
Don Fries is the leader of the G-Force? Force, which is the Godzilla
Yes,
Force.
I think so. He's the captain of like a drill submarine.
Some mutant. He's the captain
drill
of
submarine laser.
a drill
It's a drill
submarine that
submarine laser.
shoots freezing laser beams that can
Well,
freeze kaiju.
So after the titles and Godzilla being frozen, you just get
Wait,
thrown into
the
this
Ninja
fight
Turtles
of
are
like
in this?
Yeah,
you get thrown into this
kind
fight
of.
between
Manila kind
the
of looks like a Ninja Turtle.
yeah. You get thrown into this fight between this drill submarine and like a snake creature that gets melted and then frozen
Right,
and then
the snake
drilled
creature
through.
that looks like King Ghidorah, but just
Ghidorah,
one
but
of his
it's not.
heads. It's Ghidorah.
But if he never took you to his leader,
Right, and if he
King
was a
Ghidorah.
snake,
And
if
then,
he
you know,
was a snake, like me too, man.
like him too. In
in
fact.
true Godzilla fashion, the movie then just says that a load of monsters are attacking around the globe.
Yes.
Including
First we establish mutants. We have the mutants fighting.
Right.
they had that
Second,
cool fight.
The mutants, yeah, cool anime live action fight. A lot of
they're, like,
sexual
flying in
tension
the
between
air.
these two men.
A lot.
It's set up for them fighting later when aliens control
And
the mutants.
before one of them
something.
just disappears from the movie because he's just sitting out for the rest of the film.
Yeah, maybe he dies. Or no, he
gets
he gets injured, but in the
And then he asks,
second
"Why
fight.
didn't you kill me?"
Right, and he's like, I didn't have sex with you yet.
He's like, "I haven't kissed you yet."
Yeah, I haven't shown you a grown-up kiss
I'm
yet.
showing you the grown-up kiss.
No, we'll get there.
Will we?
I don't think we will.
I hope
But yeah,
not.
so
We'll get there.
in
Josh,
true
cut this out.
in true Godzilla fashion, a load of monsters start attacking at various places around the
Monsters
One of them-
all out attacking.
Right, all
In
monsters
Sydney,
attack.
In Sydney,
One of the
we
monsters
get,
that attacks is Zilla,
Zilla.
aka Godzilla from Godzilla 1998,
And
with
he
Matthew
looks
Broderick.
about
Matthew
as shit as he
Broderick-
does in that movie.
Matt-
No, he
Broderick
looks so much
killed-
worse than he does
He
in that
looks a lot
movie.
Matthew
worse.
Broderick killed 2 women in Northern Ireland while
Oh,
drunk
yes.
driving.
True.
Never
Surprised
forget
we
that.
haven't referenced that more in this suite.
I think we
actually.
have at least once in
We've
this
referenced
suite.
it one other time,
Yeah.
but I'm surprised that's the only time.
Right.
But yeah, so
It's true.
amongst other monsters, there's also like an armadillo one that's rolling through Shanghai, I
Right.
think.
What's his name?
Angular or something like
Right.
that.
Anguirus, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Because we
The-
thought
the
that little
fat-
kid was saying.
Yeah, the
"Angry."
fat,
There's
the
a fat
kid in Canada. He's got his face smeared with chocolate.
It's-
and
yeah.
he's
It's got,
playing
like,
with monsters
toys,
and making them
And
attack.
he holds it against the
And he
TV
point-
and he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, he like
Anguirus.
he does the Leonardo DiCaprio snap and point and goes, "That's Anguirus."
It's almost like they wrote that for a little American kid, but then they got American distribution, so they're like, okay, we'll just make it about Canada.
Right.
You know, because it's like a stereotypical fat American.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
also in this scene. You get Rodan flying through New York, and he's like
Oh,
kicking.
and it's awesome.
Dan
the
gets his
hardest
favorite
scenes,
moment
yeah.
of the movie when he flies up like a skyscraper, and him flying up
he flies
shatters
down.
all of the
he
window.
flies down
up
it.
on a skyscraper.
Down
He,
it,
land,
sorry.
he,
not
land,
like a
he lands
skyscraper,
he lands on top of a skyscraper, poses with his wings in front of the moon, then dive bombs down, shattering all the windows, then flies in between 2 buildings, shattering all those windows, and
It's
fucking
so sick.
awesome.
And like the entire
So
time, you
cool.
can see all the dust and,
And that's
shit getting kicked
basically
up
the
on
only
the streets.
scene with him in the movie. Like
Yeah,
I guess
he
Godzilla
he
kicks
just
his ass
disappears.
later. I don't
Yeah, I think
remember
Godzilla
Godzilla
fights him
fighting him
later.
though.
Yeah, but it's like a
Godzilla
very
fights
quick-
so many monsters. Yeah, like half of them he just disposes of it.
Half
within,
of them
like,
he
a
just
matter
shoots
of
with his-
seconds.
He just shoots him with his atomic beam, and it's done for.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Godzilla's so cracked in this movie.
Yeah.
there's also like
Oh,
in this
it's-
bit, there's also the
um,
crab monster.
Yeah, it's Crab Monster, Ibira,
Rangoon, I
or
think
the
is his
other
name.
crab Rangoon monster. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, that's imitation crab.
Right.
Ibira's the real crab.
And then
no, one of
as-
them is crab rangoon, the other one's cheesy crab meat.
as
Right.
the EDF try and figure out how they're going to stop this, with a lot of people posing very cool with like weapons in front of a load of explosions and shit. It looks
it's
fucking.
so
It
hard,
looks
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is when the mutants fight the crab monster. They're like jumping on top of it and shit, and doing a bunch of badass
do, like,
flips and
flips.
shooting it and
And just
This is
running away
then-
from explosions. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
then-
This is the point in
as-
the movie where we paused it and we were like, oh, we're 28 minutes into this, which is only
Right.
10 minutes less than we were in Shin Godzilla when
and
we
it
quit.
felt like 5 5
Yeah,
minutes. It
dude,
was
it was
awesome.
so
Like
much
it's
faster. Shin Godzilla
yeah.
felt like 2.5 hours, and this
Right.
felt
This
like 2
movie
minutes.
just breezes by. But yeah, as the mutants are fighting
As a mutant.
the mutants are fighting the the Godzilla crab Ibira monster Ragoon. He
Not the
just
imitation crab monster.
They start teleporting
disappears.
away.
Yeah, and then it shows all the other monsters that are rampaging also teleport away. Then
And it
we get
turns out they get
aliens.
adopted by aliens.
Oh, first we get before all this we get introduced to
The president.
the second drippiest motherfucker in this
Right.
movie, who's not the president. He's the Secretary General.
Sorry,
But
right.
before he was the secretary, well, Japan doesn't have a president; they have a prime minister,
Right.
so he wouldn't be president anyways.
No, in my
No, I
head,
don't
he was
think
just
so.
like president of the world.
Of Earth.
Yeah,
Sure,
like
yeah. I mean, he looks
he-
like
he
would
basically
be.
Well,
He
that's,
treated-
that's
treated
the
as
thing about
a-
this movie. This movie takes
I mean,
place
kinda.
in 1994, but also it feels like the future.
It came out in 2004, so that's
what
when
I
it
meant.
takes
It takes place
place.
in 2004.
It just
Right.
feels like a 90s movie, so and Dalton is notoriously bad with time.
Dawn has
so.
the worst timekeeping
But
skills
also,
of anyone
this
I've
movie
ever met.
all right, if you saw this and didn't know when it came out, and I said it either came out in 94 or 2004, you would also say 94.
I would say right in the middle, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd
neither
say
of
like
those are
turn of
true
the
date.
century.
I'd say yeah,
Of
you're
course you would say
gaslighting.
those words, Josh.
Right.
Of course you would say, oh, it came out at the turn of the century, didn't it?
I would probably say Rhythm of the Night personally,
Ooh,
but
I
I
would
don't.
say Rhythm of the 90s.
I would say Reebok or the Nike.
But this is
I would say that one Nike commercial where Godzilla dunks a
This-
basketball.
Right,
This is
with
where-
Charles Barkley.
this is
Gnarls
where
Barkley.
aliens get
No, that's
introduced
CeeLo
as they
Green.
abduct
CeeLo
a
Green
load
dunks
of
a
monsters.
basketball?
Yeah.
Aliens
at
get
least
introduced, and subsequently everyone's just like, "Oh, aliens, cool," and they accept them into their society.
Yeah, but as I
Uh,
was saying though, the Secretary General was
He has like a
the-
white silk
Shut up!
suit.
Yes, he has a silk suit, and the outer layer is a trench coat, and he's so fucking drippy. He has a hard ass white beard and like some
He does.
cool patterned tie. It's awesome, and the collar on his suit is like a cool, like almost chromatic looking silver. It's fucking awesome. But what I'm trying to say is that he was the spaceman, the Japanese astronaut in Godzilla vs. Astro Monster that we watched 2 weeks ago.
Right. If you haven't seen that episode, go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, possibly the same character, or just bring him back the actor.
Surely it's
I
supposed
don't
to be
know.
the same character.
Maybe, but I think that actor has just been in a lot of Godzilla movies. Like I think
Really?
I think so, but I don't know that. I'm gonna
It's
stick
the
with it
Rhythm of the
though.
Night.
Right, it's the Reebok or the Nike.
Right. It's Gnarls Barkley. It's
Right,
CeeLo
CeeLo
dunking a
Green
basketball.
and who's the other guy from Gnarls Barkley? He did the
Charlie?
um
Charlie?
no, the Gnarls Barkley. It's CeeLo Green and the one guy who he had that one album with MF Doom that came out a little bit before he died, or a long
Genuinely,
time
I thought
before he
Gnarls
died.
Barkley was just CeeLo Green. I thought it was one
No, it's
person.
it's CeeLo Green that does all the singing, but the mixing and mastering, producing is like Dead Mao, but it's not
Deadpool.
that. It's like
Ryan Reynolds did it?
Czarface or yeah. Anyways, I
CeeLo
digress.
Orange.
I die.
Wish.
I can make
Um,
orange rhyme with banana. You want to see me do it?
No, really? Seriously? That'd be sick.
Yeah, check this out. Check this out. You guys ready for this? Bornana.
Oh, I can make orange rhyme with Dorange. You ready? You want to hear
Can
it? You want to
Yeah,
hear
let's hear
it? Dorange.
Holy I'm gonna beat you to death. Anyways,
So Gnarls
Anyways,
Barkley
the
dunks
aliens
a
are called
basketball.
the
Aliens.
aliens are the same
They're
aliens
called
from
Zillions.
there's Zillions or
From Planet X.
Zillions. They're the commanders of Planet X from Astro Monster
And
They
from the
all
MF Doom
dress
song.
like
and
they've
from the
just
MF
seen
Doom
The
song.
Matrix.
They were updated from the silly '60s aliens in Astro Monster to now
But not
cool
updated that much.
'90. No, well, for the time they were kind of.
They were about 10 years behind.
They all wear
Not
sunglasses
really.
and big
I mean, it was
leather
late 90s
trench
To be
coats.
aesthetic,
fair,
I guess.
the cool '90s aesthetic we're talking about started in the late '90s. It started
I
with
guess,
Blade
yeah.
or Matrix, whichever one came
But it
first.
also died
Both of
with
which
Blade
were
or Matrix.
right, but the last Blade movie came out the same year as this.
Sure, but that
As
doesn't
did
mean that 90s
probably
cool was
probably
still
the
cool.
last Matrix movie was
I
close
guess
by a
that,
year or
but that
two.
Yeah.
doesn't mean that the aesthetic
The last
was still
Matrix
cool.
movie-
Oh, actually,
was
last
2003, I think.
Last Matrix movie
Well,
was 2 years ago, actually.
Yes,
and
technically.
it sucked ass. I don't know. I didn't see it.
I don't know.
It was fine. I had fun.
Yeah, but you
but the-
also like Shin Godzilla.
Yeah,
so I
Josh
guess
said
that's
it's fine, so it probably fucking sucks. Yeah.
But yeah, so the aliens come down and people just seem to really like them. They're treated like celebrities.
Which is
Yeah,
the
one of them
exact
is-
same thing
one
that
of them is
happens
really-
in Astro Monster.
One of them's called X, and he
Yeah,
really.
one of them just calls himself X. He's a real douchebag.
His hair is not spiky.
Not yet.
Right. Well, it's a little spiky. No, that's not the controller of Planet X. You're just racist, Josh. The X guy was a real douchebag, real douchey face, real douchey voice.
Right.
The main alien, who isn't the main alien at first, the controller of Planet X, he's got some like
Hologram.
Star Wars. No, he's got like Star Wars armor on. He's bald. He looks like Giancarlo in The Mandalorian. Like he's got that like black, sleek looking Star Wars armor on.
Right.
And then there's like they're doing some like talk show thing where
Right.
they
Well, I think they're like making a
it's
pact
similar
with the
to Joker.
government.
basically actually. But they're
They're talking with the
They-
Secretary General.
right, the Secretary General.
Well, as
who
we
was-
find out,
who
because
was
the-
also the astronaut from Astro
Right.
Monster.
um,
And he had sex with an alien in that movie.
Right.
An alien that was actually 3 aliens. So basically, he had a foursome.
Well,
But-
he only got busy with one of them.
Yeah, but
But
they might
the,
be like the twins from Hellboy 2, where they feel everything the other one feels. So
They might be like the twins from
from
Godzilla.
this, yeah,
which
and
who
who are
appear for
tiny,
like
yeah.
5 minutes, and they just
yeah,
kind of
they
go.
have no
Well,
consequence in
they
this
were a
movie.
reference. They were a reference.
They
Right.
appear and
A
they basically
reference
just
I
go
didn't
like
understand.
they appear and just go,
I'm
"Oh,
not a
Godzilla's
Godzilla
around
nerd."
somewhere. Just be careful."
Yeah, like, oh, Godzilla's here somewhere. You might want to look out for that. Innit? Oh, Godzilla's
And,
gonna be a problem then, yeah, bro. Oh, bugger that.
And Dan, I think we should let Dalton explain the rest of the movie.
What's up?
We should let Dalton explain the rest of the movie.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead. What happens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happens next?
So the Zillions kidnap a bunch of people. Godzilla
Yes.
fights a bunch
that
of
what happens
monsters, and then the Zillions.
That's
Well, no, it's at some point the EDF who just distrust the aliens.
they're on this
They
this
think-
talk show Joker moment. The
Oh, I thought we had already
EDF
gotten past this. My
EDF
bad.
lady gaslights fake Secretary General.
He shows him
by
his
bringing
dog.
a fake dog, but actually it's just a random. It's her dog.
and
Then
yeah, and he just
Oh,
lies.
keep
Don
in
Fries
mind-
shows up
I was
and,
gonna say,
and
and
keep in mind,
shoots
while
him.
this is going on, Don Fry is fighting another set of these aliens.
yes,
Yes.
but we don't
And
know
also-
they're aliens at the time because they just look like humans.
Right.
And
And
also
they're not,
at
they're
this
not,
time,
they're not really the aliens. They're like robots made by the
Weird
aliens
robot
to,
alien. Well,
to
although
Right.
maybe
replicate
the aliens
humans.
just shapeshift, because Don Fry says something like,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he
They-
says
they
to the-
disguise
to the,
themselves as,
the
like-
commander of Planet X. He's like,
Right.
"Let's see your real face." He's like, "I kind of like this one."
yeah,
"My
that's
hair
when he
looks
turns.
spikier as we go on."
That's when he turns into
I
the
look like an
spiky-
anime villain.
I am an enemy. I'm an anime villain.
But yeah, they reveal that they've been like
I am an
kidnapping.
anime villain.
I got it.
They've been kidnapping and replacing like the members of government. And
right, which is what they did in Astro Monster also.
It's the same plot.
Yeah.
They took the plot of Astro Monster and were like, what if Godzilla evolved more monsters?
Right. They were like, what if they did like a fat line of cocaine, and they were like, okay, what if it was way fucking bigger? What if there were like 200 more monsters, and the aliens looked like fucking Matrix, and there were robots, and there was Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla's son was in it, and
What if it was literally
what if,
every other
hold
Godzilla
on,
movie ever?
what if Godzilla from the American Godzilla was in it? And then he fucking punched a hole in a wall.
Yeah, so
they watching it.
they reveal that the aliens are bad guys essentially, and the aliens go, okay.
Like, oh, you got us. Ah.
You got us, didn't it? You little
and
bugger.
Then they reveal that they can control the mutant
Right, but
gene
this is
and in turn the
after-
monster gene.
This is after cool anime guy shoots current controller of Planet X,
Yes.
take me to your leader, and then becomes controller of Planet X.
And yeah, becomes the Planet X controller.
Just look. I mean, he looks way cooler. Of course, he was going to be the controller. Like, he just looks fucking. The other one was a stupid dork, bald
And he
idiot.
was
And then-
old.
Moff
He was
Gideon.
probably from the first Astro Monster.
Probably, yeah.
But then, so then he controls all of the mutants, so he gets them all to gang up on Don Fry and his mates.
All but
Right.
one, who I guess
but one or
just
two.
wasn't. There,
I guess
only
he's just, like,
remember
stronger.
One. I guess maybe he was stronger, or he just wasn't in that scene at the time. He just showed up later. I don't
No,
exactly.
he runs away with Don Fry and everybody, because that's when they get into the motorcycle chase with his mate.
You're right. Yeah.
Right, because first they get into the truck and the motorcycle somehow this
It
motorcycle
jumps on top of the
jumps
truck,
on
which
top
then
of it,
knocks it
which
to the
causes
side.
it to flip it over some fucking how. Yeah,
Half of this
can't say
movie-
how cool this looks. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
to describe it.
it's awesome. This
Half-
movie is awesome.
This movie just gets by on the rule of cool. Like, half the time, there's a moment in a second where during a motorcycle chase, one guy is just stood on the back of another motorcycle, letting it drag him through the street. And
Yeah,
it-
well, first
looks
There's
they're
a fist
so
fight with
cool.
two
Okay, so
people
first-
standing up
first
on
the- yeah.
motorcycles.
okay. So after I'm gonna try and speed run this motorcycle fight. So after motorcycle knocks over the thing,
Not
good guy.
Dead Grim.
Correct. Motorcycle. Good mutant busts out of the truck, chases
yes.
after bad mutant. They have
Both
a
of them on
gunfight.
motorcycles.
Both of them on motorcycles. They have a gunfight. Run out of bullets. Ditch their guns.
throw the
Then
guns.
have a fist fight while sitting down. Then stand up. Have a standing fist fight.
Fist
throw
fight.
a couple kicks. Bad
Mutant
gets
thrown
knocked
his
off.
bike.
And is then dragged and then thrown
To
and
the
then
front of his bike.
Yes, then he runs at him. He somehow is able to just stand because he's a mutant after getting knocked off a bike. Runs at him. Good mutant does a front wheelie, uses his back wheel to flick and slam
Tail
into
whip.
him. Yeah, he tail whips him to just knock him unconscious and break his ribs or something. Because then we see him later. He's like wounded
He's
and,
got,
and
like,
out of the
bandaged
mind
up and
control.
stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, why didn't you kill me? You're my buddy. I want to have sex with you."
And
Yeah.
the sexual tension's palpable. You can
Right.
feel it.
Yeah.
And then you get the kind of the standard Godzilla moment where they help break Godzilla out of whatever prison he's
Right,
currently
right.
in. Or
Ice,
maybe he
frozen-
needs to get nuked
They
to get
say
more
something
health.
early
You know?
ice baby,
They say something when they freeze
go
him. They're
ninja,
like-
go ninja, go.
They're like, let's freeze him instead of kill him in case we need to bring him back to
Right,
the other monsters or
right.
something.
And then
Sure.
Don Fry's like, I was there when we froze him. And then it cuts back
Right,
to
he has
Don
a
Fry.
flashback. Yeah.
It's a flashback to a man who is very
Right.
clearly not Don Fry or related to him in any way.
No, that was him. He got more American as he aged.
Oh, that makes
He
sense.
got a thicker
That's
mustache.
that's what his mutant. He was actually a mutant, but the only thing his mutant gene
The
did.
implication is that he is a mutant.
And like this
Maybe
is you
I
can't,
don't know.
You can't undersell
The thing is,
just how
it
cool
never
he
really-
is.
Right. The thing is with the mutants though, it never really showed like, and maybe this is
It
just
never
like
says why.
because
what
my
they,
only
like,
my only basis on mutants is X-Men, where they all have like
Right.
individual specific powers. The
Yeah,
mutants
here
in
I
this
think
like
it's
like
all the same power.
they're all
It's
just
like-
like they're like Captain
super
America or like
strong.
Spider-Man, where they're just like more whatever. They can jump higher, they can run faster. They're the fucking the $1 million man, whatever.
$6 million man.
There's a moment
Right.
where when the truck from a previous scene gets flipped over, Don Fry is just standing on top of it with a
he
samurai
stands on top
sword
of it with a
that he
samurai
got from
sword that
nowhere.
he got from nowhere and then just immediately ditches because we never see that samurai sword again.
Hey Dalton, do you remember when
uh,
you're the one who
but we get
wanted to do
payoff
this
for that.
podcast?
Right. Hey Dalton, remember that time I broke into your house and killed you?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
Daniel.
But yeah, then you get the Godzilla moment of him fighting about 400 monsters who I have no
Every
chance of
single
remembering the
monster.
name of.
I can list 2. Rodan. Actually 3. Rodan, Angulus/Angular maybe.
Anguilla.
Oh,
Or
one
maybe
of them I
just
looked up.
Angular, which is what I think the little American kid calls him.
Right.
It's
But we
like, it's
just
angular.
didn't hear him.
We heard
Either
Angular,
way.
and then Dan looked it up and realized he's probably
It
saying
was like Angulus. Yeah.
that's his name.
But anyway, then Ibira the crab monster, which was maybe also a different imitation crab monster. I don't
Possibly.
know. Rangoon.
Then
But,
there's the fuzzy bear monster.
The Easter
The
Bunny.
fuzzy bear Easter bunny / like bull
Which
looking
is in
motherfucker.
like the third Godzilla movie. I mean, it's really early on.
Yeah.
There's the armadillo one who
Yes.
just every now and again
Armadillo,
spins
that
up.
is
That's Angular.
that's angular.
That's Angular, right?
Yeah.
Then
The
there's
bug
giant
one.
spider.
Yes,
Oh,
there's the
giant
bug,
spider. Yeah.
giant spider, giant
How can we
fly.
forget the giant
Giant
spider?
fly
That's the
/
coolest
praying
thing in the
mantis,
movie.
kind of.
Yeah, the flying
It's
mantis.
the giant praying mantis from Attack of the
Zilla,
Clones.
obviously.
And
Of course,
Zilla?
Zilla, who he bodies basically instantly.
Zilla, who
He
transports
shoots-
in, and he immediately just tail whips him into the Sydney Opera House before
Yeah, and
lasering
then
him, and
blasts
everything
his ass,
explodes. It's
Which,
incredible.
admittedly, is what he does with all of these monsters.
Right, he does it with
Right.
most of them. The
Including
giant spider.
including
giant
the mecha,
spider.
the mecha Godzilla,
Well,
Gingan.
When he gets broken out, the Mecha Godzilla
We
fights him, and he just blows up its head. It falls down, and
Right.
Godzilla's just standing there. It's
But
so
don't
cool.
worry, we get another Mecha Godzilla later.
Oh yeah, there's Mecha
But
Godzilla.
that
kind of
Godzilla
filler.
might be someone else.
Well, no, because then there was the actual
there's
Mecha
2 more.
Godzilla that. There's 2 more, but one of them maybe isn't actually a mecha. Maybe it
Well,
just
they're
looks
all
like
Maybe
one
it's
and
just
it's
Gigan.
actually
Gigan is a version of Mechagodzilla.
Right.
right.
But it's
I
all so Gigan in the
Also,
movie he's
Space
in-
Godzilla.
And Space
so
Godzilla.
Gigan, Space Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, all one thing.
Right, but
And-
Mecha Godzilla came first. That was
Correct.
classic, just Mecha Godzilla. It was just a
Right.
mech.
I want to say it was the Heisei era that was like.
Probably that seems
Like okay,
like,
we're
yeah.
gonna. So it started. It was
What if
Space
he came from
Godzilla,
space?
And he was like wearing a Godzilla suit, and he came from space, and then that
Right.
suit ripped off, and he was Gigan.
What if
and
a
then
man
Gigan turned
wearing
into
a rubber
Mechagodzilla?
Godzilla suit ran through a city?
It'd be
Right.
awesome.
It'd be
What
cool.
if ging ging gong gong gang ging ging gong ging ging?
But yeah, so and then he just bodies all these monsters basically.
The one,
Yeah.
my favorite one is the spider who keeps on like spraying webs on him.
Yeah,
until he just
keeps
grabs
shooting
it.
So the
Yeah.
spider who
spider-
we don't ever see before the scene.
No,
where
he just-
fights Godzilla.
he-
He just shows up in the
No,
woods.
he's
where
in
Godzilla is
Arizona.
also there.
I think he's in
Oh
the
yeah, he
montage.
crushes the
Postal
trailer.
guy's
Yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
He kills he kills Zach Ward, the postal dude.
There's
yeah.
just one guy eating pizza in a trailer, the one trailer in
Yeah.
Arizona, and he
Right.
gets
It
killed by a
literally-
giant
yeah, it literally
spider.
shows it. It's like the only trailer in just the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and
Accurate
then
representation of Arizona,
and then
surely.
when Godzilla fights him, he hits him with a couple webs, and he shoots a web,
Yeah,
at
and
him,
it just
Godzilla
does
catches
nothing.
it.
Yeah, Godzilla catches the web and just spins him
Starts
around
spinning him and
and just
launches it.
throws him, and he's just gone.
He just
He's
flies
into space,
into the
sun. Yeah, who knows?
Like he just
He's
disappears
done.
into the sky and never appears again. So I
He's
have to
fucking
assume.
cooked. Yeah.
And then, like, as Godzilla is fighting all of these different monsters, every now and again it cuts back to not only Godzilla's son, who's just on a nice, lovely trip with the
Right,
old
yeah,
man and
but
his
I thought about
grandson.
Manila,
Manila.
yeah.
Manila,
So-
it's just
yeah. Well, Manila, they introduce.
it's very
some,
early.
Some hunter, yeah, very early. It's like right after the introduction of all the monsters
Yeah,
destroying
it's like the
shit.
end of the montage.
Yeah, so it's some like Japanese hunter guy sees Manila and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot
I'm gonna
this
shoot
weird
this
monster
thing."
thing." And then his son is like, "No, stop, Dad, don't do
And
it.
he
This is
T-poses.
my friend. He's clearly just a scared little baby." So then they take him and they
And
bring
then,
him
like,
their
it's
little
every-
little
Don't forget
every-
the
Suzuki
kid
Honda
T-poses.
truck.
That's gonna come
The
back.
kid T-poses.
Every
right. Yeah,
30
kid
minutes or
T-poses,
so,
he
it
blocks
just
him off.
shows Manila, the kid, and his grandfather just kind of having a nice time in the countryside, really.
It's a nice
Right.
little thing they tossed in for the
It's-
kiddos, you know?
It's a wholesome little
Right.
thing, I
It's a
guess.
little romp.
In
I
this, in
suppose.
this- yeah.
But the other
Which
thing that
which
keeps
holds
showing
no consequence whatsoever.
No, not at
other
all,
than
not at all.
kind,
It matters
kind of at
nothing.
the end, maybe.
It kind of
even
pays
then-
off at the end.
We'll get to that though.
But yeah, so
But-
the entire time that Godzilla's fighting all these monsters, it shows Don Fry and all of his mates attacking the aliens in their main ship.
in the TARDIS
and,
from the 2005
in the
season of
TARDIS.
Doctor Who.
And
right.
again, because Don Fry is just the coolest man to ever exist. He's got a brown military jacket on. He's got a tooth necklace
yeah,
that
tooth
is never
necklace
specified.
for some reason.
And he's
Maybe
just
it's-
carrying a
I
samurai
don't
sword
know, he's
that
just
every time he
badass.
gets into a fight, he just stabs it into a wall and then beats
Right. He,
people up.
does he ever actually use the samurai
I
sword,
don't
or does
think
he
so.
just hold it?
He just
'Cause-
holds
okay,
it.
well, let's establish this is not the same samurai sword that he randomly holds while standing on top
No,
of the truck
no,
in the
it is a
coldest shot
different
ever.
samurai
No,
sword.
so he
Unless
takes it,
the lady steals his sword, which is possible.
but no, because she had
'Cause they get
two and they
captured.
looked. They get captured, but she had two and they looked like the same. Like they looked like part
Yeah.
of a set.
Yeah.
Plus they're Japanese. They all have samurai swords. It's not racist. It's their culture. Jesus. Uh, so,
Oh, man.
so they're on the ship.
The views of
Don
the
Fries.
Brad Daniel said not necessarily reflect
That was Daniel Savage.
That was said by Joe Rogan.
That was said by Joe Rogan.
They're on the ship. They fight back, and Don Fries has these two weird laser pistols that look like lava
Toy
lamps.
guns.
They look like toy guns with like lava lamp shit in
There's-
them. He uses them to shoot the alien lady's hand and knock the sword out of it, and then catch it in the air. Like right before I'm saying, whatever happened to that samurai sword he had? And then he just catches that shit. Never uses it. He just continues shooting her, and then, oh no, he stabs it into the thing.
He stabs it
knocks
through,
her other sword away.
Fights one of them.
She says, "You wouldn't hit a woman," because he's got his fist
And
clenched.
he goes-
Then he open hand, he Sean Connery's it and just karate chops her in the neck and knocks
And
her out.
she falls. Now, while that's happening, one of the good guy mutant from earlier who bike battled his bad guy mutant mate,
Yes,
He-
mutant.
he's fighting the commander of Planet X. And he goes
Right.
Super Saiyan at one moment for no reason that we can find
Yes.
out.
I
Yeah.
think he's supposed to be like Neo kind of thing, like he's the chosen one. To
Yeah,
defeat the
I-
alien.
Sort of.
There's like one
Well, 'cause
line
that's also,
that
because he couldn't be controlled by the alien.
the commander mentions that like the two of them are just better than everyone else.
Well, yeah,
out of-
Right.
because he talks about the cattle thing. You're all just cattle or whatever. But
Right, yeah,
you possess more power. He's the only
You're
one who
built
they couldn't-
different. He's
right.
built different.
He's built different.
He's been mewing.
He's been mutant.
Yeah.
And-
but
but-
but everyone in this movie's
But
been
there's a
viewing it.
great
This
moment
guy,
where-
this guy's been full on looks maxing.
There's a
He's been-
great moment.
Look, the thing is, everyone else in this movie has been mewing. This guy's been mogging.
Right.
There's a great moment where he literally goes Super Saiyan and glows
Josh, do
with
it,
like
do it,
a
Josh, do it.
Uh,
Everyone do it.
he glows
Josh.
with a no,
Josh.
he glows with a bright fire. I'll do it at the
Josh.
end. I'll do it at the end.
Fuck
Dalton,
you.
if you shut up and never speak again, I'll do it at the
Shut up.
end. Shut
Not at
up!
all.
Get
Oh,
out!
you'll do.
Now we're all mogging.
But the
Yo,
Super
who
Saiyan,
invited Tuco on this podcast?
the Super Saiyan guy, he
Super Saiyan?
he's,
saying?
he's just beating the shit out of the commander of Planet X, and it shows in the background on the TV. Godzilla is doing the exact same thing to a different monster.
The
They're both just like,
fights, yeah.
like smashing their heads
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And well, and
It's
this
so
monster
cool.
it's a new monster.
Oh,
That-
yes,
that's
the
a-
monster. The monster
It's
that
a
I
robot one.
It
Yes.
kind of looks like a
Sort of.
robot, but also kind of just like
Kind of organic.
organic, and it's got 3 different eye laser beam
Yes.
I
blasting
wonder if
points.
that's a reference. I wonder if that's a
Three,
reference.
three,
Three and
Three?
from Planet X. He's
From
inside the
Planet X.
Planet X.
Eyes. Controller
Everybody
of
put on their
Planet
hunter
X.
eyes. Hmm.
But as Godzilla's fighting him, and the main dude basically kills the commander of Planet X, he says
And
the
then
coldest
teabags him,
death
he teabag-
line.
Oh yeah, he goes, you will die alone, I promise you. It's
And then he
so
starts-
fucking
This is such a
cold.
bar, dude. If anybody ever shoots me and walks up to my dead body to like steal money
Yeah,
off me
I'm
or something,
saying
I'm
that
saying
shit.
it for
I'm,
sure.
I'm hitting them
I'm
with
keeping that one in the
yeah.
bank. You know, that's
Right.
the backup. That it's so cool, and
That's
then he
not
just
the backup.
explodes.
That's option one,
Right.
bro.
That's option A.
Oh, what's the one that he says? I don't know. I don't remember who said it, but he was like, that Godzilla guy is one cool dude or something.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
that was in Shin Godzilla.
Surely it wasn't.
Surely not.
It cannot be
No,
true.
no, I was
that
mixing up
cannot
because
have been said. And
they both sounded like Sonic.
I mean,
I
there's
think
a
it just I think it
chance.
just sounded like Sonic when I said it. I don't think it sounded like. I
There's
think
a
it was.
chance.
I think it was cool anime guy that
And it was
said
bad, dude. It wasn't cool dudes. That Godzilla guy's
Yeah.
one
Well,
bad dude.
well, right. No,
but
I
it was
feel
like
it
bad
was
in the cool.
cool.
It was bad in a good way, but that's what made it
Maybe,
funnier.
yeah.
He's one bad dude.
Either way.
Either way,
It was said by cool anime guy, I think,
I think
the
so.
or
Either way,
cool
the-
mutant guy, whoever. Mutant.
after saying "you will die alone," he starts blowing up his own ship, and so everyone
Right,
who's
and
coming,
this is when Neo Mutant goes Super Saiyan.
Yes.
Right. The second.
and everyone else is trying to
Was it
escape.
First, I think
does it
Josh
twice.
just got ahead. Oh, I don't remember him doing it.
No, he
the
does, he
first
does it
time.
once when he's like fighting the dude because he hits him in the nose or
right.
something. And the guy like backs up and he says, "Give me a second" or something like that.
Right.
Right. He says, "Oh, that's gonna leave a mark."
That's gonna leave a mark.
You're
guys,
behind me, aren't you?
That wasn't supposed to happen.
But the EDF are trying to get the Secretary
EDM.
General out of the ship
like
because they
Christ.
find them all
the
like
the EDM, like the
entomology.
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
EDM,
Like
like,
a theme.
The EDM, like the theme of this song, which is an EDM remix of the classic
It
Godzilla
is.
music.
It
and
is.
it's sick.
But no,
it's fucking awesome.
the EDF are like pinned down by all of the aliens because they're trying to get the Secretary General and everyone out. And then all of a sudden, all of the aliens just start like
oh yeah,
dying.
did we ever establish the Secretary General and
He
he was
fine.
back?
It
Who
doesn't-
cares?
He got kidnapped
Whatever.
at some point, and
yeah,
then
they
he
all got
escaped.
kidnapped and replaced. Yeah, and then they all escaped also.
And then Donfire just walks out again because he's so cool. He just walks out and is like, "Come on, let's get going," carrying the
Right.
samurai sword that he did not have earlier in that scene.
no, he
No,
did. That
he
was the
had it.
same
No, he did.
sword
That was
that
after he
got
stabbed it into
from-
the wall.
Yeah, and then he slapped the woman.
And then he slapped the woman.
He Sean Connery'd that hoe. But did they ever actually say how all those
I
aliens were
assume it's
defeated?
just like
'Cause
when
they
the
all just
guy
fucking
starts blowing up
exploded.
their
No, I think
ship.
it's when the Planet X, the director, is it director? Leader?
Commander.
Commander. The commander of Planet X. When he
I'm the commander of
died, I
Planet
think the
X.
rest of them just died.
But I thought that would. But no, because I thought that was way later, or not
I
way
think-
later. But it was definitely after that. Good
Oh,
Mutant
no,
fought
no,
Planet
so,
Commander
yeah.
X.
when
Was it Mutant going Super
Mustache.
Saiyan?
when Mustache walks into the
Don't fight.
room, they all just collapse over because we thought
No,
he
but it was
sliced them with their sword.
before. It was before he even walked in, and he didn't
Right.
even walk in from.
They
that
all
same
die, and then you
direction.
see him come
They
out behind
die,
them.
and then he
I think
walks
it was
from
just
behind
supposed to
them.
be like a gun blast. Because we said in that moment we were like, oh, he's gonna come out with his sword, but it wasn't.
Right. I guess
It
he
was just
he
a
did have
laser
those. He did have those cool laser lava lamp.
Right.
Which so
pistols,
did everybody
maybe.
else. They were all just.
I
shooting.
think-
Right.
I think it was just like the commander guy started blowing up his own ship, and they got caught in the explosion, something like that. Or Godzilla maybe attacked them, something like. Oh no, there was
at
one
one
guy
point-
who like was flying through the tunnels before they all escaped. It was like the Death Star scene. I want to say that
Right.
impacted it somehow. The movie just kind
Maybe.
of
I
Just like the
remember-
Death Star scene,
the,
actually.
I
the
remember
movie
at
kind
one
of like
point-
blurs together at some point.
At one point, Godzilla shot an atomic breath at
Yes,
the
yes.
alien
I
ship.
bet
Maybe it was that.
I bet it was that.
The
Could
the
be,
whole
I don't
movie
know.
towards the end just kind of blurs into this explosion of like
it's
cool
just-
things happening.
Yeah, it's a fucking
A
a
lot
beautiful,
happened, but it's worth it.
glorious
Watch
schlock
it,
fest. Yeah.
Alright.
See the movie.
And they everyone escapes. They run to their ship. One guy
Available
like
on
jumps in.
Tubi, maybe? Was this one on Tubi?
No, this was on
one is
Pluto.
not on Tubi.
It's on
available
Pluto
on
TV.
Pluto.
TV.
Brought to you by Pluto TV. This episode made
The
possible by
version of
Pluto
this that's on
TV.
Pluto TV is
Subbed, not dubbed.
is subbed. The
Which-
version that we watched is on the Internet Archive,
Right.
in which I think all of the Godzilla movies are on. In
Shin was on there, at
Yeah.
least.
Shin was unfortunately on
Yeah.
there. I wish it was
Don't watch
nowhere.
Shin Godzilla ever.
Do
Boy,
not
God.
watch Shin Godzilla.
But then
Maybe
Godzilla.
look up a clip. Look up clips like
clips
we
are
did
cool.
of
just
the,
watch the atomic breath scene. That's all you
specifically
need to see.
the atomic breath scene
And
where
the
it's his final
evolutions are
transformation. The evolutions are
If that's your
whatever.
thing, it's some people's thing.
If you're
you know?
gross.
If you're gross like Josh.
right.
But the movie basically ends with Godzilla killing, King Ghidorah, as is many Godzilla movie
Yeah,
endings.
yeah. So
Right,
yeah,
the
the
alien from earlier,
mystery
it was Ghidorah.
the mystery alien monster was Ghidorah. It's a cool scene of his heads splitting into three and then
And the wings
he
like
turns-
burst out of
yeah,
the
the
suit.
wings shoot
Right.
out. Both Josh and I referenced Venom in Spider-Man 2 PS5. Then it shows him turning into Ghidorah. Godzilla rips all of his heads, all but one of his heads off. Then uses
So
that last
awesome.
head to like just fucking
Like,
ragdoll him
swing
around.
him around.
Then he like
It's
steps
so
on his
cool.
neck and just fucking crushes the
And
shit
listen,
out of
this,
his
this
larynx.
is the scene that sells this idea for me. I love the legendary
Yeah.
Godzilla movies. I do. You
Mm.
could not CGI that scene and have it be as awesome as it is. In this movie.
Right.
There's
Same-
just
same with
legitimately
the-
something.
Well, the spider
With
scene
the
was the one that
spider
did it
scene,
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one.
Like
Like,
the
you
scene where he
can't do
grabs
it.
the spider's web and swings it around. You could do that in CG, but it would be
But it
slow
wouldn't-
and it wouldn't. It would
feel
have a
the
very
same.
different feel to what it has in this.
Right.
Like whether or
'Cause
not
in
that
this,
that's
you
better,
know-
it'd be too different for it.
It might on a
it is
technical
better.
level, it might look significantly better and significantly realer, ironically, but it wouldn't feel the same.
It wouldn't feel
you wouldn't
like
have
a
that knowledge
Godzilla
of,
film.
this is
This
a
is a
man
guy in a
swinging
rubber suit.
something around. This is a man fucking
This is a
smashing
man possibly throwing an entire other man face
possibly
down on
or
the ground.
just
I
or
assume just like a
Not,
giant
but,
prop.
like, it's possible.
it's probably just the rubber suit
But it's
stuffed with cotton,
possible.
but
Yeah, but
I
like
guess.
there's a
chance,
certain
and that's
there's
in
a
my
certain
mind, you know, kind of thing.
there's a chance of everything. There's a
There's
chance
a certain,
that
like-
Shin Godzilla is a good movie, but
there's a
No,
certain
no.
weight to it that you don't
Yeah,
get
there's
when
not.
you CGI
but there's
it
a
all.
chance.
right.
Like there's a weight
Yeah,
to it
that's
that
the
you
thing,
get
yeah, I was
from a
saying-
man who cannot see out of his Godzilla suit, just spinning in circles to
Right.
throw a
I
giant
think
rubber
by
spider.
by this point, they probably
figured out a way
how to
to-
get him to see.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he could see. He was looking through the mouth hole.
I remember I think
Right.
for like the first
They
Godzilla, they kept
turtles
on,
that hoed.
they kept having to like just run ice packs over to him because he was like melting to death inside the suit because they hadn't
Because he
figured
was
out
he
how.
was legitimately overheating.
That was
and
the
Yeah,
he
'cause
first,
they-
was suffering
flu, I think.
from
yeah.
Yeah, they
stroke,
hadn't
yeah.
figured out how to do a suit without just like melting the guy
probably
inside.
most of the Showa era because it
Probably
was
Probably,
the
most
same
yeah.
of the
costume.
movies, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Probably at least all of the Showa era up until the suit started falling apart, and then there were like little holes where he could breathe
Right.
through.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, even like Batman v Superman, they had to run a fan into Ben Affleck's Batman suit.
Right.
And
Well,
that was
yeah.
only a few years ago. Also came out
That was the same year
as
as
Shin
Godzilla.
In
Um,
the same way,
no,
in the same
but-
way that
So
someone
Toho,
could have
if
walked out
you're
of
watching this, Toho, if you're watching this podcast right now, the sequel
Fuck
to -1,
you.
which I haven't
Sorry,
seen,
no,
I have
y'all
not seen,
chill.
I haven't seen Godzilla -1, I haven't. The sequel to it,
no.
put a man back in the suit. I don't care if you have to touch it up with CGI or make it look, even if you
Yeah.
have to CGI over a
I mean,
man
look,
in a rubber suit.
Throw
Put a man
look,
in a
man
rubber
in a rubber suit. Throw a couple of those little CGI green dots on it. Whatever.
Right.
Maybe you want to like do something quirky where you make his neck longer or whatever. So you put like a tennis ball on top of his head. Whatever, dude.
Whatever.
You Thanos
Maybe
that
his
hoe.
tail is CGI.
I assume the
right?
the
Like a
tail will be
cape.
CGI.
Right.
Yeah,
Like a
you just
cape
like
from Doctor
have
Strange
the
movie.
you have like
Right.
the
You have
hole
like
there
just
for
like a yeah. You have like a little fucking green thread or some shit.
Right,
Who
or
cares?
you CGI to blink his eyeballs, just
Right. Yeah.
like the
Oh, there's also
Ewoks.
that cold ass shot in this movie of Godzilla with the destroyed
Yes.
burning city, and it shows it like through his like eye
it does that like a
reflection.
couple of times,
It
and it's
also
so
well,
hard.
it does that. It does that in the beginning with the person's eye, where it's the
Yes, it's
the
cinematic parallels.
King Ghidorah if he was a snake, not a
He was a
Leadera.
Leader,
Well,
Or
no, a
wasn't a
snake, not a
Leader,
leader,
yeah.
bruh.
He sees it through the steel of the submarine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's like a window.
window.
On,
Yeah,
in the
I assume
front.
it's a window.
It was a
and then-
futuristic
so
sci-fi
Manila
submarine.
T-poses like the kid does at the beginning.
No, the movie
Right.
ends with Manila and the kid and his grandpa just going over to Godzilla.
So yeah,
But
so all the
Manila grew.
humans. Oh yeah, Manila grew to normal standard
To a
Manila size.
huge
Well, he
amount.
goes from being like
Well,
about
huge-
5 foot.
He goes from being a slightly shorter
We'll
than
say
this
5'6".
standard Japanese man. So yeah, we'll give it a
About
solid 5'6", to being what I presume is the standard
Like
Manila
30,
size,
something
which
like
is
that?
where he's like
Oh.
30, but compared to
say
like the 500
45.
foot.
Yeah, well, that's
Sure,
the thing.
we'll call it 40 because I think in the first Godzilla movie they say Godzilla's 400 feet, so he feels about a tenth scale.
That's the thing. He grows to a good amount, but then you see him next to Godzilla, and he's like
And
the
he's
size
just
of his
fucking-
toe.
he's- Yeah, I mean he
Which
looks
goes
like
to my
baby
point
Godzilla.
earlier, which is there's no way Godzilla hatched this thing from an egg. You know, I've seen a baby bird,
Well-
and it's not that size comparison.
Well,
to its
as we
dad.
learned from that YouTube video, Godzilla has no dick, he has no balls, and he
He has
probably
no
has no
toes.
asshole.
But no, my
But
favorite
he
part about him
asexually
seeing
reproduces
Manila.
like other reptiles.
My
They just-
favorite part about
They just grow
him.
eggs in their stomach and then lay
Yeah, they
them?
self-reproduce sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes.
They
Reptiles
explain
are
it in
fucking weird,
Godzilla
dude.
1998.
I'm pretty
They do
sure-
explain that in 98,
I bet
yeah.
they fucking do.
Because-
they explain how
because
Matthew
Matthew-
Broderick killed 2 women in Northern Ireland while drunk
Matthew
driving.
Broderick gets a human pregnancy test, and he runs that on Godzilla, and it tells him that he's pregnant.
That cannot be scientifically sound.
That's a real. He goes to a
thing.
I
pharmacy.
believe that's a real
He
thing.
goes to a pharmacy in New York, which is being attacked by a giant dinosaur, and he goes to the pharmacist,
Godzilla.
and he says,
Well, just
"Can I
Zilla.
have?
Oh my
one of your-
god, Zilla!
Can I have one of your pregnancy tests?" And then he runs like a bit of blood or something on it, and it comes
And
out pregnant.
let's be real. That was a pharmacy in New York. That pregnancy test was probably like 20
No.
years past its
Yeah, that
expiration.
pregnancy test was designed to work on lizards.
Right.
Sure.
It's in New York.
But either
so
way,
let's wrap-
my
let's
favorite
wrap.
part. My favorite part
My,
about Godzilla seeing Manila is when Don Fry stands there with a samurai sword, holding it
yeah,
out like he's ready to
all
kill
the-
them both.
all the humans are aiming down at Godzilla. Godzilla's stancing up, ready to kill them. But then little kid stands in front of his dad / grandpa, and he
Right, and he-
T-poses. He's like, it's a callback to earlier. He's like, stop, don't kill him. And then Manila does the same.
Even though he's standing.
Right, he's
so
he's
it's
aiming
like-
way above him. He's aiming so far above his head.
They're all like that,
But
and the
it's
kid's
the,
just
it's
like,
the idea, because
I
then
get the
Manila
point, yeah.
does the same thing, and he
Right.
stands in front of Godzilla, who's his dad, and he's like, "Oh, don't hurt them, they're my friends."
That's how
And then
Right, he goes,
and then him and
oh, and then
him
he
and
hits, then Manila hits the atomic breath,
He does, and it's
and
Right,
awesome.
he does.
and he does a
then
little
he
burp
burps,
with
and he
smoke.
smokes
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome.
yeah, and then the two of them walk off into the sunset through the ocean,
Yeah, it's
And
beautiful.
swim. Probably.
and that
also,
that is
yeah.
the last you see of Godzilla for
And
12 years
my,
until you
It's the
saw
last
Shin
you
My-
Godzilla.
ever see of real Godzilla until minus.
Until
Until
right.
-1.
Well, the next
Well,
next
well, the
Godzilla
the
we get was
legendary ones are
admittedly
fun
10
ones.
years later. Yeah. Which still 10 years after this was the next
Do you
Godzilla
think
movie.
they would ever
My,
do Godzilla
my
Jr.
sisters-
/ Manila in the Legendary Universe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
The way Godzilla X Kong is looking, absolutely, he's gonna asexually reproduce.
I
And,
can't wait. I hope
Yeah,
the end
my-
credit scene is Planet X aliens.
That's what
And
my hope
Manila.
is.
The mid credits will be Manila.
Right.
The end credits will be
I think
Planet
flip
X.
that, because the end credits is always like the goofy, silly.
Right, that's true. Because
The end credits is Don Fry with Manila coming out with the
Right.
samurai
Being the
sword.
legendary
He is going to be in
heroes.
this movie. I will
He
manifest it.
will. My
We're the
my
only
sister's
people who've watched those
leopard
movies.
gecko, who we thought was a male, turned out to be a female because
It was like
pregnant
Godzilla.
with eggs, just like
Or
Godzilla.
maybe he was
That's the other scene in Godzilla is
Well, yeah, but that's
Matthew
only something that
Broderick goes
female
into the
reptiles
pharmacy.
can do, which means Godzilla is a woman.
Right.
Yes, no, that's the thing that he says. He goes, he
In
is a
this
she.
new woke Godzilla content.
Right, not my Godzilla. Man, these liberals trying to take everything from us.
Including
Relax,
my
liberals.
Godzilla.
Relax,
How
liberals. It's called dark
1998
humor.
of you.
19 what?
1998. The Godzilla 98
Mm.
was the reference, yeah.
Right, because Matthew Broderick killed those women while drunk driving in Northern Ireland.
Right. What year was that? Was that before or after
90.
Godzilla?
That was like right after
Josh would
Ferris
know.
Bueller, so 93.
Oh, so yeah, so definitely before
Definitely before,
Godzilla, yeah.
Alright, final thoughts. Final wars.
Yeah.
It definitely finaled, it definitely warred.
This movie is awesome.
It really is. This is my favorite.
That's
Godzilla
about all I
movie.
can say.
It really
Yeah.
You just have to. This is one of those. There's not a ton we can
Genuinely,
say. We have
just
been
watch
speaking for
this
an hour and
movie.
5 minutes. There's not a ton we can say.
There's really not much
There's
we
really
can
not much to
say.
say.
We have been rambling for over an hour.
You just gotta
But
watch
yeah,
it.
just watch this movie. It's
Just gotta
fucking
watch it.
awesome.
It's a lot
Don
of fun.
Don Fryer
Fryer's
Tuck has
the
a
manliest
sword.
man
He
you'll
never
ever see.
uses it.
Just
He's
think
got a
about the body
mustache.
mass alone.
Looks cool in this. We
Think
didn't
about the
talk
body,
about
the
his
body
costume.
mass of
He
Jesse
looks
the Body
like-
Ventura alone.
Right, and he looks like Stalin and also Mario.
Right,
Look,
and
I
Tom
can't have another conversation with you about body mass.
I can't remember a conversation with you about Don Fry's body mass in Godzilla Final Wars again. Okay?
I can't have another conversation with you about Don Fry's body mass and Godzilla Final Wars again. Quote.
Right. Watch this movie if you
It's
like
great.
Godzilla. Watch this movie if you like Don
Both.
Fries. Watch this movie if you don't like Godzilla. Watch this movie if you like movies. Watch this movie if you don't like movies. Watch this movie if you like anime. Watch this movie if you like live action anime adaptations.
Pacific
Watch this
Rim.
movie if you don't like Pacific Rim, or if you do like Pacific Rim. Watch this movie if you like Ron Perlman in Pacific Rim. Watch this movie if you like Ron Perlman in Hellboy. Watch this movie
Hellboy.
if you like Ron Perlman in Blade 2.
Watch this movie if you like Ron Perlman and Beauty and the Beast made for TV movie in 1992.
And if you do or don't like any of these things, run this podcast back, watch the whole thing again, hit the share button, text a link to your mother.
Send it to your mom. Tell her not to listen to it, but maybe watch the movie if she likes any of those things. Also, your boomer aunt, cousins, sisters, mother, whatever.
Roommate.
Tell them to share it on Facebook because that's what boomers
If you've
do.
got a goldfish, play this on your phone and sit it in front of their bowl.
Right. If you have a cat, play the video form of this podcast for your cat, and they'll probably watch it and like smack at the screen like cats do.
Right.
If you
have
haven't
a
listened-
dog, if
I'm
you have a
gonna grab my
dog,
dog.
hold their face down and play the sound. And put your phone like in their ear so that the sound keeps running in their ear.
If you have a cat, comment below if you got to this point, and let me know if your cat responds to my cat meowing. If I can get her to meow, come on, Luna, meow, please.
Squeeze, just
This is
squeeze
for a bit.
that cat.
I'm trying. I'm squeezing her tight. But she's
If
not
you have a
doing it.
dad, make sure you tell them that you love them unless they unless you have
Right,
a
unless
bad
they're,
relationship
unless
with them or
they're
something.
abusive and they're like a
Right,
dick.
Right.
But
Yeah.
even
Also,
then,
send this
maybe
link to them.
maybe you still love them. Maybe you still love them despite their abuse. Whatever. Come
Send
on,
this
Luna.
link to
Please
your
just
dad, no
meow.
matter
Just
if
meow.
he's abusive or
Wait,
not.
Luna.
Because if he
Mew? Hold on,
isn't
Luna.
abusive,
Mew? Wait, my cat's mewing?
if your father isn't abusive, send him the link to this podcast so we can have fun. If he is abusive, send the
Send
link
it to
this
him to
podcast
abuse
to
him.
abuse him
Yeah,
back.
my cat's
Also, Josh,
leaving.
let's as the music plays as we're getting ready to go out. Josh, hit the mute.
Hold on, my cat. I'm gonna make my cat.
Join
hit
us
it.
next week. We don't know what Godzilla movie we're gonna watch unless it's a knockoff, which we might do. We might even do
It'll
2014
probably be
next
that.
week. Do we just want to decide on
could be.
2014?
We could be. I also feel like just doing a legendary Godzilla sweep would be kind of fun.
Yeah, let's save it. We'll do Reptilian next week.
Right.
We're gonna watch a movie called Reptilian. It's gonna be a knockoff
Reptar
Godzilla
from
movie.
Rugrats.
Yeah,
All right,
it's gonna be so much fun. We'll see you guys next week on the very next episode.
And the Lord have mercy.
Shin Godzilla.